All right. It's been 8 months since I've done this. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to Imagine Blue. It's been 8 months since I've been back here.
Has it been 8 months, really?
Okay, well, Chuku said I haven't seen you guys since January.
8 months. I'm being real.
Okay.
Honestly, I've lost track of time, and it could definitely have been 8 months. But I'm Christine. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm Scott.
Jump the gun. I'm Crystal.
I'm Chuku.
I hear a name being introduced, and I'm like, oh, my turn.
You're like the little dog, like me. I'm next. Yeah. So it's been a hell of a long time, guys. So I kind of do want to catch up, but. What?
Yeah, we'll do some catching up. But first we gotta learn more about you, since we talked about ourselves in the first episode a lot. So now let's learn. Yeah, now you talk about yourself a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give a little intro then, and then you guys can give me all your questions.
Yeah, or we can just ask you questions to make it easier.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm in the hot seat, and it's definitely hot in here, meaning there's lights.
Yeah, it's kind of hot. I mean, this summer has been really hot.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see. So something we all talked about before is what our favorite medium is. So books, movies, TV shows, stuff like that. Why don't we start off with that one?
Want to start
that
off
one's an easy one.
I thought we were going to start off the whole identity and background kind of thing.
Damn, that's deep.
How did we start? We started with the prompts, and that was one of them.
I could have sworn we started with background. We explained hey, my background was with film and all that. And
no, I think we just shoehorned that in because we love talking about ourselves.
Yeah, but all I know is we started with it. So
okay, Christine, do whatever you want.
All right. Okay, we'll start off with background. So a little bit about me, just so you guys can get to know me, is I am in advertising. As douchey as it sounds, but also maybe not as douchey.
No, it is, because we're both in advertising, and I can confirm.
Why is it douchey?
Why?
What makes advertising?
I think there are things, maybe stigmas associated with advertising, where, I don't know, it's probably all, fun and party, drugs, clients take you out, they try to bribe you to put them on, the invoices so that we can have them as partners.
Oh, interesting.
But I, uninterestingly enough, am in the analytics part of advertising.
Yeah.
So I do a bunch of reporting.
And then we all work from home, so it's
but I love
not
it.
Glam, but it pays the bills.
It does.
That sounds pretty nice working from
yeah,
home.
exactly. It sounds like you're DHVing there. Oh, we work at home. It's not anything special.
No, I love working from home because I log off and I just start playing games on my PC.
Exactly, but the way you're saying it, it's made it sound like it's a humble brag kind of
No, we like it because she was saying there's this people associate the ad industry with Mad Men or
exactly.
Nah, we're at home chilling, talking on Discord.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't even know that was a stigma for advertising people.
Maybe for the people in advertising.
I think because it's very businessy, there's always going to be that stigma of also it's a little opportunistic.
Okay.
Right? Just because it's and then
Yeah.
we're also pencil pushers. We're just corporate slaves.
Fair.
But
and I feel you can't help that's the way we
some
think.
of it's true.
Because we're in it.
A little bit of it's true, but
yeah,
we're
but
cool.
work from home, that's probably the best thing that has come out of 2020. So yeah, that's a little bit about my job. In terms of things I like to do, and maybe this will answer your question too. Favorite medium? I love reading. That has been my favorite pastime.
Yeah, you have a really cool bookshelf.
Maybe I'll send you an updated picture of all the books that I have yet to read.
Sure.
Which is
send it. We're gonna
50.
put it in the video.
Insert photo of Christine's shelf here.
Oh man, now I have to do that.
Thanks, Scott.
We don't have an editor.
You.
I edit these things.
Cut this out.
It's okay.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite mediums. Other than that, it would have to be watching movies, watching shows, reading manga. So, there's a theme here. I love reading. So reading webtoons, manga. My most recent book that I finished is Priory of the Orange Tree. It's a big one that people had talked about on Book Talk, actually.
Book Talk.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
It's a thing. It's
Is it an app?
people reviewing books on TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said book talk.
Not book
No.
TALK.
Book TOK.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what do they do? Just be like, oh, this book is great, but this is what happens or something?
Yeah, let me give you a little insight into book talk, okay, guys? Because I'm the expert here.
Okay.
But anyway, they like talk about books. They give it a spicy level rating, like how spicy. That's usually what like book talk is about.
I see.
But for me, I'm into like the high fantasy,
right.
deep cut, like in the fantasy world type of world building type of thing.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but like spicy. When you say spicy, like I accidentally used that word with like Howard and Connie when we were talking about like random stuff. Board games or something like that. It has to be like spice or whatever. They indicated that it was like there's a sexual
Yeah.
thing tied to that.
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Smut,
I
guys.
just-
Let me
that's
say it
what you
again.
mean.
Smut.
Okay, even
I just-
then.
Is that what it means in book talk also?
Oh, okay.
See, that's why I
Okay.
asked, because I was like, okay, which definition is it?
Yeah.
And that's why when I saw A Court of Thorns and Roses on your audio, we used to, or maybe
Yeah.
we still currently do, share Audible.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, Scott, I didn't know you're into that.
No, that's
And
my
you're like,
sister.
"Wait, what?"
That was my sister. She also has access to it. I have not listened to a single word of that book.
It's okay, man. We don't judge.
wait, what's
we
it
don't
called?
judge
I
at
wanna-
all.
A Court of Thorns and which is gonna be okay, so it's called A Court of Thorns and Roses,
Okay,
which
thank
is
you.
also gonna be a Hulu, I think, show.
Ooh, hell
Hulu or
yeah.
Netflix. Some
Interesting. Hulu's
streaming
making some
one picked it
spicy
up.
content. Okay.
Yeah.
We should all listen to it.
Sure. Why not?
First book, honestly, I'm gonna say it not great. The rest of the book's good.
If Christine says it's not great, then why would I
rest
even
of
want
it.
to
The
read
rest
it?
of them are good. So
Okay. What do you find appealing? I'm just curious about those kinds of stories.
Well, they have so that series specifically is pretty cool in the terms of like it gives me almost Harry Potter vibes, but not really, because it has like a
Okay.
lot of fantasy and like these characters have powers type of element, and it's like there's a female lead and she comes into like her power. There's a lot of tropes into it too that like I guess interest me, like her finding or getting power and assuming it, and like, you know, fighting these really cool beings, and at the same time like falling in love with the wrong person,
Okay.
and then
Interesting.
re-falling in love with the villain, which
Okay.
is the right
Ooh,
person.
that's a great trope.
Yeah.
This sounds like spoilers.
Lovers to
Yeah.
lovers to enemies
Yes.
to lovers again.
Enemies to lovers,
Enemies to lovers to enemies.
Yeah.
I like when it like goes up and down like that.
enemies to lovers, and then share a bed trope when you're enemies type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, these AO3 tags right now.
I know. So yeah, those are some. Not to say I only read books that have spicy levels to it. No. Okay. I read
mean-
Brandon Sanderson too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit of like the novel world, and then in terms of like webtoon and manga, I'm currently reading this webtoon I love is called Omniscient Reader. Of course, about a dude who reads manga
very
and then
meta.
goes into that world and like is trapped into that world. Okay, and then
Christine loves isekais, so
yeah, isekai is a very favorite genre of mine. And then I guess manga-wise, Darwin's Game is another one. Also isekai.
it has an
Yeah.
anime. I thought the anime was actually pretty good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm reading up on it. I think it's pretty far off.
Wait.
from
I'm
the
curious. What's an
manga now.
ikasai?
Isekai is where like a character gets trapped in another like dimension, another
Oh,
world,
okay.
and it's like it's almost like a
Yeah.
role playing.
Just think of like Sword Art Online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. I can
It's
see.
like
Or Overlord
survival
is another
kind
one.
of, or like
not necessarily.
fish
No.
out of water.
It's more like you're trapped in a gaming world.
Okay.
Not necessarily
Kind
just
of.
gaming. It could be any other world, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
And this is a whole genre. It's called isekai, and it's like
Anime,
if you are
yeah.
trapped in
Yeah.
someplace else.
yeah. Not. I mean,
Well,
At a
it
certain
kind of
point-
is.
at a certain point, like Sword Art is still an isekai, but like he's not necessarily trapped all the time. Like he went back to the real world.
What are some other popular examples?
That time I reincarnated into a slime is another one.
I mean
Never.
that one he's straight up just trapped.
Yeah, Overlord is another one where he is trapped.
I wouldn't even say he's trapped. I would say like more like he just reincarnated into a different world. And
Okay.
Well, no, Overlord. He like it was.
Oh,
like he
I'm
couldn't
talking
log
about the
off.
slime one.
Oh,
Slime
okay,
one.
yeah.
Slime. So would the first Tron movie be an isekai?
I haven't watched the first Tron movie.
What?
Would the second Tron movie be an isekai? Because he's
Wait, but you
trapped.
watched the second
He's
one?
trapped in the game.
I watched the reboot Tron. Is that
Yeah,
what
is
you're
that an
talking
isekai maybe?
about?
Yes, the reboot one from Disney.
The reboot one because he didn't purposely want to be in the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, you watched it, right?
Yes.
You can talk on
Isekai?
this.
Yeah, I would say so.
Nice.
Yeah, because I can't remember the first Tron movie.
Like,
What
I guess an
about
American
Spy
isekai, right?
Kids 3D. When they
Okay,
were-
I don't remember that one.
They were
Me
trapped
neither.
in a game. Do you remember?
I
Spy
remember
Kids
that.
3D?
I remember that one.
That's an
Yeah,
isekai.
yeah.
Yeah, now
I
I
get-
think about it. Yeah, I remember now.
I mean, like, were they trapped? I feel like
Yeah,
I
they were
don't
trapped.
know.
Some of them were trapped.
Carmen was trapped, but not
Yeah, she was trapped.
not
Even-
regular players, you know.
Okay, so these are real world, I guess, descriptions of it, or like real world movies about
Okay.
it. And then I guess isekai specifically would be like
Referencing
animated.
anime, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So the standard has to be an anime for it to
Yeah, I mean that's
I don't
usually
know.
what it's used
Yeah.
for.
be.
I would think so.
And you have to like not purposely be going in there. Like you have to be trapped.
No, I mean I feel like you can purposely go. I don't know. It's
You know,
too much
correct us
detail.
I'm trying to
If
think
we're
of
wrong,
like
guys.
American like examples, and I'm just like
That's
Chalk-
the
Chalk
general
Zone.
basis
Chalk
of
Zone?
what I know.
Shock zone.
Chalk Zone is an isekai.
Not really, because he can leave.
Well, no, but you don't have to be trapped. Scott just said so.
Oh.
Well, okay, Sword Art Online started maybe, correct us if I'm wrong. Okay.
We're gonna get like if anyone cared about this, they would be like
Hey.
lambasted. Like that's not an isekai.
Please correct us.
I know
I'm
we're
totally
being. I know we're
corrected.
wrong.
The
Probably.
first Sword Art Online, they were trapped. They couldn't log off, and that's what I'm thinking like isekai really is, where,
Right.
you're in another dimension or another world, similar to like a game like RPG world. And then you just can't go back. And that's like a isekai, and you have to figure out a way to get out or like live
well,
in there.
Yeah, you don't have to really get out. I mean, like, there's a lot of examples of animes where they just are in a different world now.
Yeah.
Basically, the trope is regular world, like usually in Japan, some dude in Japan.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, some random stuff happens. Like he gets hit by a truck, he dies, or he reads a book,
Wait.
or just like
And then
and then
Yeah. Wait.
randomly gets transported into a different world.
Wait, now
I'm
that I think
curious.
about
I'm
it-
curious. So would Digimon be an isekai?
isekai.
Isekai.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody's seen Digimon
I
now?
don't know Digimon
What?
enough.
I know this Digimon. Digimon.
Literally, that's what happens. Digimon just randomly come to their place.
Okay,
and
then
they
no.
No,
But-
but,
but-
does
but
he
they-
go to no?
But they
if-
get sucked into the digital world with no choice.
Oh,
Okay, that's
then
probably
yes.
that's probably the original isekai.
But now that I think about it, Darwin's Game is not an
yeah,
isekai
it's not.
because that's taken place in like real world Japan.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Okay.
understand now. So it's like usually out of the main character's control.
Yeah.
And then okay. I understand now. I'm tracking.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
interesting. That is a cool
I hope-
trope. And
I
I,
hope-
didn't know it was
yeah.
that popular. That it
pretty
became
popular.
a trope.
Yeah.
But the thing is about them is like a lot of them feel very similar.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, I know. I mean, there's only like 8 unique types of stories in the world, right? That's like what people say.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Remember I talked about this before, but the TV Tropes website has listed every trope in existence. And it's pretty interesting if you ever want like to like
Existence.
learn about if you ever want to like learn about storytelling. I know you would probably love that site.
I mean, I know about this.
They have you look at TV Tropes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
know a lot of
Chuku
it.
knows. what are you trying to
I
say?
invented TV
Have
shows,
you guys
goddammit.
checked- have you guys checked it out?
no.
Look
No.
up any
no.
trope on tvtropes.com, and like they have links to every other trope that they mention in there, and you can go down a rabbit hole because every trope you've ever seen is on this site. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay,
why,
I
I'm
but
gonna
wanna
see if
see it.
isekai's on there.
my initial like reaction to hearing stuff like that is that I don't like generalizing things, or I don't
Categorizing.
categorizing.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of do like categorizing, but
Come on, organization. That's
yeah,
like
that's-
in your alley.
that's different though. When it comes to storytelling, I don't know why. It's very weird. Like I feel like when you try to categorize something, you're sort of giving it you're giving other people a preconception of what it is,
Yeah.
instead of like letting them just experience the story.
Like it's
and-
not unique anymore.
Yeah, you're sort of making it not unique anymore. But and not in a good way. Like I feel like after you experience it and you see the uniqueness of it, or you see the specific things that they decided to do, and if it fits into that trope, sure, you can go ahead and do that. But like, I don't know why. For me, I just don't like hearing that. Oh, this, like, I think my friend once talked about Mistborn, because I'm sorry, you guys haven't read it, but like, he calls it like a heist, but I don't really feel like it is that much. It fits the heist trope in the beginning for sure, but like overall, like as a story, it doesn't seem like a heist story.
But it also, okay, I get where you're coming from, but the categorization and tropes, that's also how, other people kind of like do a little temp check to see if that's something that they would like to enjoy.
Yeah,
Enjoy, that's
And
one
people,
thing.
but that's
I
also,
get that.
uh-huh.
I get
Yeah.
that.
And people have the choice to like look into that or not. Also, I wouldn't say like tropes is like generalizing things. I think like a category would generalize something, right? But a trope, like every story has tropes in it. And I just think it's interesting to like see like some of them listed out like on the site, because I'm like, oh, I've seen that before, and I'd be like, oh, I like this trope and I don't like this trope, and that's so funny like that someone like wrote about it and like kind of talked it through, like the psychology behind it. I really love the site. I think check it out if you're
I
interested.
definitely see both sides, because like for me, one thing I like about knowing these tropes is that like when I see someone subvert the expectations, it's like, oh shoot, they took this trope and then made a new way, and
a pleasant surprise.
applies, right? But at the same time, it does become a thing where sometimes you may see a show and you're like, oh, they're doing this type of trope. I hate, like, you might just like stereotype a show to be something
Like how
that isn't.
lame.
Yeah,
or
you
corny.
stereotype it and
Yeah.
B, it's bad, and then you look at it and you're like, wow, this is actually good. So
Yeah, I can see both sides.
so
It depends on if it's done well and if you actually take the time to like absorb the story, I guess. 'Cause,
that's yeah.
yeah, you can. I mean, we're always gonna perceive things that we haven't fully like watched, or even like we're perceiving everything all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna judge things whether you like it or not, right? Like, I mean, I try to be open-minded, and like I do love when like my expectations are subverted, but like I don't know, it depends on the person, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess for me, it's sort of like when you use those tropes to describe things, you're failing at describing it in its unique way. Like for instance, Game of Thrones, when a lot of people say, "Oh, Jaime's getting like a Zuko redemption type of thing," right? I feel like it's not even close to Zuko. I heard that a lot, right?
Yeah, but I guess the idea, and this is funny because Avatar is such a good television series that we think of like redemption arcs. Zuko's the definition of now
you
a redemption
compare
arc
it.
is.
Zuko-
So therefore, when we say, oh, it's like a Zuko, like basically they're saying it's a redemption arc. But I feel what you mean, because then
Yeah.
the
Yeah, they're
expectation-
misusing it. I think they're just trying to say like, oh, this redemption arc's goated, even though like it wasn't. But like, yeah, but that's not a trope. That's just like people making an awful comparison.
I guess so, but it's still. I mean, like, wouldn't you say the trope is a character who sucks in the beginning but redeems himself later? That's like a trope, right?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah. Or even like a Mary Sue is another example.
No, but they go really like you can go really, really specific with them.
Yeah.
There are general tropes and there
Yeah.
are really specific
So
ones.
there's, for example, like a trope in book talk is like female character gets like a dagger to her neck but likes it type of thing.
That's really specific.
Okay,
I don't know
No.
if that's on
How
TV.
is very specific.
Is that really
No.
a
Okay,
trope?
I don't know how to like say
get
it, but
that.
yes, it is.
I
It's
get
like
that.
like it's like a steamy moment, like a steamy dagger to the knife
What are you reading?
moment. I'm just saying, okay.
Oh, wait, I know
That's like the only thing
But she's
I
not
can think
getting
about.
stabbed. She's just
No,
getting,
it's just
she's
like a-
yeah, okay.
She's
I see
just
what
like
you're
against the wall, like that's a trope, like
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. I see.
saying. Oh, well, okay, here, let me think of a really specific
Well, the
trope.
other one I said, like, they have to share a bed, or they're like stuck in a cave, needs to share like a bed or something like that. That's a trope.
Here, on
Enemies
oh,
to
here-
lovers
I
is a
think-
trope.
Here's one of my
Yeah.
favorite tropes is red oni, blue oni, when there's like a kind of berserker or like more wild character, and then their counterpart is someone who's more of like a straight man, like kind of like cold-blooded, more serious character. That's like one of my favorite tropes. Like we see that in Samurai Champloo is like an example. That's a good one. And then like there's character tropes too, like
Okay,
headlong combatant. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's like Ash from Evil Dead. I love these tropes, you know?
Okay, so basically a trope is just a pattern seen across media.
Yeah,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
Okay, and it can be anything. Basically,
There could be-
absolutely anything.
There are character tropes,
Honestly,
there are story
yeah.
tropes, I'm telling you, like check out this website. It's really cool. I don't
Okay.
think
How could there only be 8 then? That's
no,
not
that's
8.
no. Oh no. I wasn't saying that. There's like people say like, oh, since the beginning of time, there's only like X amount of unique stories. Everything follows a pattern.
Yeah.
Everything links back to like this or that. But
like
you know,
these 8 things.
Yeah.
that's just something that people say. I don't know if it's 8. It might be 7. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
8.
It's 8. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. 8.
Look into it. Like I'm very loosely referring to it because I don't know much about it, but that's like something that people have said, and maybe we can all look into it and talk about it another time. But that is something that I've heard.
Yeah. And basically, like any media, it's like, for example, most medias you can have multiple stories mixed to each other. Like a good example of a typical trope is the monster in the house, which is basically like almost every horror movie where it's like there's this giant monster, we gotta destroy it, right? But you know, that can be taken to, like, for example, Attack on Titan's a good example of it's not like a horror movie, but we have a giant thing, we gotta destroy it, kind of a trope, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, so it's
You just
it's
named,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's just a regular
Yeah,
old trope.
and also like the whole fantasy aspect, like main character has unexpected powers or grows into powers. That's a trope too.
or what's it called?
Okay, so, yeah, I understand now.
Yeah.
Everything's a
Yeah.
trope. Got it.
Yeah,
To some
everything.
degree.
everything.
To some degree, yeah.
I'm telling you this. Check out TV tropes because it's like a million things. Like people took the time to like write these things, and it is interesting to read. I don't know if it's like crowdsourced or if there's like a team of people that write these things, but like there's so much stuff on there, and it's all, if you like stories, like check it out. Okay, so the 7 stories thing is called 7 basic plots, and basically someone took Carl Jung influenced analyses of stories and like basically chopped it up and said like, oh, there's only like these plots: overcoming the monster, rags to riches, the quest, voyage and return, comedy, tragedy, rebirth. And that's just what I'm reading on Google.
Right.
But
yeah.
interesting. Maybe
yeah.
we can look into it.
I don't know. Even though now I'm understanding what a trope is better, I still don't like
Those aren't tropes. That's like research that someone did.
Yeah,
But tropes is different.
regardless. It just feels weird for me to like see
Yeah.
stories in that way. It
I
feels
agree.
very constricting. I don't know.
agree.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
It's funny how you bring that up because there was this one episode of Community, which is a show I think everyone should watch. But basically, one of the characters who's Abed, he's known for like, you know, breaking the fourth wall, calling out tropes, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's funny because there's another character in season 5 who's played by Mike in Breaking Bad. So he actually comes in Community. That's how meta the show is. They start bringing Breaking Bad characters. Point is, he starts creating his own type of characters, and then Abed realized a flaw that he had was that sometimes he's so much about tropes, he forgets about the substance within story. And that's funny because I feel like Dan Harmon, that's kind of projecting himself where his whole thing is making fun of tropes. Like that's why Rick and Morty, they'll make fun of like this stereo thing, right? So
right.
Yeah.
the whole thing is about that. But if you forget about like the heart of what a story is, and you're just focusing on like, well, I don't want to be this cliche, I don't want to be that cliche,
Right.
you know, it falls apart.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
so
you're
there-
sort of
there's yeah, exactly. So
you're sort of
I
helping me
understand it,
Yeah.
convey
I think-
like yeah.
Yeah, there's a balance, right? Like there's media that's like very self-aware, like things that are like meta, and I appreciate those things. So I'm like, oh, that's so clever. Like I feel like I've seen so many stories and read and watched so many things that it's like cool when like those are addressed, or even like when your expectations are what was that word?
Subverted.
Subverted.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's enjoyable.
That
Sometimes
still triggers me. That's
I know. That's like, I know that's like, that has like a
phrase.
super negative
That phrase.
connotation from all the like bad media that's been like using that. But, I guess, but there's like, yeah, but sometimes it's like nice to like just find like a good story that doesn't really like care about any of those things and is
yeah,
just
I can
in
understand.
itself
I can understand.
Yeah.
its thing.
Sorry, we went on a huge tangent away from like you talking about yourself.
Totally fine.
But I liked that conversation. It's like
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to like break things down sometimes and deconstruct them and like check out like what makes
I agree,
things
but
weird.
I still prefer talking more specifically rather than about the general.
Yeah.
So if we had like a story, a specific story from, you know, TV or a book or something, and then we broke that down, that's way more entertaining to me than it is in the general sense.
Yeah.
Just because it feels more substantive.
That and the nuances, right? Because, like, for
Yeah.
example, we can make an argument that most of the shows we watch, shonen being like, oh, you have this optimistic protagonist, but there's a difference between a Goku and there's a difference between Naruto and there's a difference between a Luffy. Like, if we just say, oh, they're just the same thing, it's like, no, they're not.
Everything has nuance. Yeah, no one's saying that there isn't. Like, no, I understand. Like, we're not saying everything is exactly the same, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool to find like a common thread
Yeah.
between
Yeah,
things.
but you're right. It's like it is a generalization, but it's not a. It's about like the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
But you're right. People feel the need to classify things that maybe don't need classifying sometimes, and I get that.
Yeah. Although, I'm curious, Christine, what is your favorite TV series?
TV series. That's hard.
Or movie, or
I want your TV since I'm a TV guy.
That's
Do both.
Just
so
name-
both TV series.
Yeah,
and
movie.
And if it's
Or-
hard
or
for you
book.
to choose between
just choose
top
any
2 or
one of
top
them.
3.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, this is the best. It just be something you just enjoy recently.
Okay, I think TV series recently. Dang, it was on Amazon Prime, and a character breaks the fourth wall. It's actually kind of old because I think it was only one season and that's it. Maybe you guys know her. It's an English show.
what's it called?
Oh, was it Fleabag?
Yes, Fleabag. There you go. A friend of mine actually recommended that show to me, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it's not usually the
Yeah.
types of shows that I go for. And it was actually really, really good.
It's like a dark British comedy.
Mhm.
That series definitely it has like Emmys because that
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phoebe Waller-Bridges. That's who the star is.
Okay.
She writes for that show, and they got a couple Emmys. I watched the first episode. It was really good. I didn't get to like go back into it, but I know it's like super acclaimed.
Yeah, it like explores her character, and she's not like a typical like everything's good
Yeah.
character. Like she's going through shit. Her best friend, spoilers alert, like her best friend just died, and
It's in the first episode. It's
Yeah.
not a spoiler.
Yeah, it's part of the plot.
Well, yeah. So it kind of explores like that and like mental health and kind of like generational trauma too, because it
Okay.
tackles like
Wow.
family trauma.
Okay.
And yeah, the character breaks a fourth wall, and she's like,
the first
"What's going
episode was
on?"
so
You
good.
know?
That was actually so funny. Like she was breaking the fourth wall a lot, and it was really clever every time she did it.
This is a recent show.
Yeah, it's
Or is
it's
it
not
recent?
that old. It's not that old, and people
A
really
couple
love
years,
it.
yeah.
I don't think it's not older than like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's
I would
pretty
say
recent.
that's probably one of the most recent shows that I've watched that I really enjoyed. In terms of movies, you know what? This is a great time to bring up Bullet Train because I
Yes.
loved Bullet
Yes.
Train.
I'm the,
Train.
I'm the only one who hasn't watched it.
Ooh, okay. So maybe we shouldn't talk about it, but that is a recent movie that I watched that I actually like. I feel like I unexpectedly
Me too.
enjoyed
Me
more
too.
than I thought
Me
I
too.
would.
Me
Like,
too.
Yeah, I think maybe we all went into it with like low
No,
expectations.
OC had like the
Yeah.
like high expectations for the movie.
Did
like,
he like it?
He liked it, of course. But my point is, it's like I didn't even want to watch it until OC said, "Come on, let's go watch it."
oh,
was like,
I really wanted to watch it because I'm like, it's Brad Pitt, like, and he hasn't been in a. Well, maybe not that he hasn't been in a movie, but it's been a while since I've seen him on screen in a big theater. And I kept joking with my friends. I'm like, this is Brad Pitt's last movie. Like, we have to watch it. But yeah, like Joey King surprised me. I only ever saw her in The Kissing Booth, and she surprised me in this movie. And all the other characters, like it was a very like great cast.
It
There was a
was.
great cast,
Yeah.
and
too many
Bad
surprises.
Bunny, come
Bad
on,
Bunny?
Oh,
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
now you're spoiling.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Luckily, I don't.
Wait, no, he's in the
He was
trailer.
in the trailer. He was in
Okay,
the trailer.
okay.
But it's funny because like usually
I
when you
won't
have-
spoil anything else.
Yeah, there was
But
a lot.
Scott,
of
please
I
watch
don't-
it.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll watch it. But I don't
Scott's
even know.
like Bad Bunny. Like,
I have no clue what you guys are talking about at all.
do you know who Bad Bunny is?
I think
Oh my god!
I think
he
I'm
just
probably-
said the worst thing.
Wait, do you
guys.
not know who Bad Bunny is? Okay, we're not gonna
Wow,
go into
alright,
it.
alright,
We're not gonna
alright.
go into it.
That's
but I know
another-
that's nuts, but like
That's
we're not gonna
a-
go into it.
I'm very.
Where have you been living?
I'm very
under?
unfamiliar with like names of actors and all that stuff, I guess.
Yeah, Bad Bunny's the best actor of our generation.
Oh yeah, he is.
Okay, he's a singer.
He's a
Okay.
reggaeton artist.
Yeah.
But he's great. He's great in this. He's in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. But I was gonna say, when you have an ensemble cast, sometimes things go wrong.
Yeah.
Fall short. Like not everyone gets a chance to shine. But I think with a movie this just like fun, campy, like they were able to like give everyone a little moment to shine. I think that's great. That's all you can ask for. Just a dumb, fun action movie like this.
Yeah, I
Very
actually
stylish,
compared it
too.
to John Wick, as in like it was very action heavy, and that was pretty much the entire movie. But in terms of like plot and story, there was more depth here. Yeah. But yeah, give it a shot. I think if you like John Wick, I think you'll like this.
If you like John Wick, but then also like lots of talking, then like
And comedy.
Lots of
okay?
talking.
Yeah.
It is, but I like it because the payoffs really is a good example of setup
Yeah.
and payoff.
The pacing of
I mean,
the movie is really good too.
It seems like all four of you like it, so I think it's gonna be a solid movie.
I'm
if
a
I
little
check it
more
out.
neutral. I
Oh,
think
neutral.
it's fine. I think it just reminds me
How
of
dare
like,
you?
Yeah,
No, I think
exactly.
This is about me, okay, not you.
Oh yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm
good,
kidding.
Scott. Listen to Christine. Yeah, I think it's fine. Watch it. I think it's better than like most. Like it reminded me of like a Guy Ritchie film, but like better.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good. That's a compliment.
Oh, and the guy who plays Kick-Ass is in there too. Not
yeah,
a
Aaron Taylor
not
Johnson.
a spoiler.
He
Yep.
was my favorite.
Yep. And he was also like I didn't recognize him at all. Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize he was also Wanda's brother in Avengers
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Age
yeah.
of Ultron.
Pietro
He
Maximoff,
also
Yeah.
he also
Quicksilver.
was inside Tenet.
Oh wow.
He was
Yeah.
like at the end of the film. He was
Yeah.
like the guy that was like organizing the.
What?
the-
See, dude, he's gone a long
temporal-
way, okay?
Yeah,
From
exactly.
Kick-Ass to
Movement.
Bullet
But-
Train.
I keep on forgetting the other actor that was with him.
That's
but
range, right?
Yeah, that is.
But all I remember that other actor is Paperboy from Atlanta. So I'm like,
Oh yeah, yeah. He was awesome. The twins.
was.
The twins were
Yeah.
like. I think OC mentioned this last time, but the twins were like the most entertaining part, and I agree with that. Like their banter was really, really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Great movie. Great
Exactly.
movie.
Gotta find some people to watch. with.
so what I'm noticing is that you like comedy is like your thing. Like I feel like you really love comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love comedy is one of like my comfort genres. Like if I'm
Okay.
scrolling through say like Netflix or Apple TV, I'm trying to watch something, it would either have to be like action or comedy.
I feel you.
Yeah.
How about
Totally.
action comedy, Jackie
Action
Chan?
comedy together, that's the best, dude.
Exactly. I still feel like you should watch Community because that's one of the best comedies.
The Gray Man, have you guys watched that recently?
No,
That's
I get to watch it.
a new Netflix show, also action packed, also kind of comedy.
Oh, Gray Man! I saw that
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Yeah.
Also similar to John Wick, guys. What can I say? There's a pattern here.
I mean, the
Is this-
Russo
Do you agree
brothers.
that
The
these
Russo
are-
brothers directed it, so.
Are these like John Wick? Like
John Wick?
level?
I want to call it John. See, John Wick is more
No.
gun fu, so I wouldn't call Gray Man gun fu, but the
But
action was
the
nice.
Gray Man has those aspects of like, I wouldn't want to say corny and almost want to say like tropey. Now that we discussed it in the
Yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
you know, it's like it's very similar to John Wick in that way.
Yeah.
I guess
wanna
yeah. If we
say-
want to categorize everything in the trope, then yes.
Juku, would you say Dragon Ball is like action comedy?
Dragon Ball is action comedy for
Yeah.
sure, because the creator was inspired by Jackie Chan. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know
never knew
Literally.
that.
Wow.
That's
you know
why
what else
even
was action comedy? The Medallions, the one with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Jackie
That's
Chan
like-
Adventures.
Yes, Jackie Chan
Adventures,
Adventures.
yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying the movie, The Medallion,
No,
because he has a movie. I'm pretty sure called The Medallion.
Yeah, Jackie
no, it
Chan
was
Adventures.
it was a real life remake of that.
That
Right?
show was based on a movie?
It's based
No.
off all the. It's based off
No,
all
that
the
movie was based off of that show, wasn't it?
I don't.
I
Am
don't
I
think
thinking
so.
about something different?
I think to be honest, Jackie Chan Adventure. I feel like it was just a bunch of Jackie Chan movies in general. I don't think it's one specific movie. I think
No,
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 but
no, no.
she's
The
saying that there's-
Medallion.
Scott says there's a movie called Medallion.
Yeah, yeah, and Christine thinks that it's that movie is based on the show, which
But they're
okay.
not
Which I
collecting
don't-
medallions in Jackie Chan Adventures. They're collecting talismans.
yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God.
at
All
one
right.
season, they
And
were.
we gotta-
For one season.
Anyways, Jackie Chan
Talismans.
Adventures is one of my favorite cartoons.
It is.
of all
It
time.
is.
Talismans.
That's
y'all,
action
not
comedy right there.
medallions.
Exactly.
But speaking of Dragon Ball, me and Chuku went to watch the most recent movie.
Ooh.
Can we just make this a separate discussion?
You want to make it a separate
Yes.
discussion?
It looks
It's a
like
review. I
Chuku
think that we
needs
should
to
make a
go
review.
into
Wait, what
it.
is it? I just want to just say what it is so that we can entice the viewer.
Dragon Ball Superhero.
Okay.
It just
Super
came out.
superhero?
Okay, they're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that in a different.
Two supers.
Tune in next
All
time.
right.
Okay,
Stay
okay.
tuned, guys.
okay.
That was a sneak peek.
So, Chuku turned you into a trope and said that you were the comedy girl. I'm just kidding. I'm just like
Oh,
trying
yes,
to. I'm trying to keep
exactly.
this
Sure.
theme up of it.
Sure.
Trope. So one of the questions on the prompt I remember was like, "What do you want to be known for?" Is that one of the things that you want to be known for?
Like on here?
being like kind of the comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy
like,
relief, sure.
The comedy, the champion of like comedy movies and action comedies.
I don't really care what I want to be known for. I feel like, the viewers would probably like make it known like what I'm known for, like, oh, that's the girl who always like talks about shitty comedy
Fast and
movies,
Furious.
Fast and Furious, who loves Fast and Furious and John Wick. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the girl who likes books and comedy and fantasy and I don't know, maybe is a little bit awkward. I have no idea, but
That
feel
sounds
free
like
to categorize
That sounds
me.
like a good enough description to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a wrap. I think because I'm trying to remember, like, did we all answer that question? I said like, oh, like I'd like to be just remember like I'm like the horror like fanatic here. So if anyone has to like talk about horror, like,
I'm actually getting into
happy-
horror now.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I'm happy to get into horror with like anyone in the comments or like whenever we talk about things, like I'd like to be like a part of like those horror
Ooh,
conversations.
that reminds me, have any of you guys seen, you probably might have seen it, You're Not Alone?
No, I didn't. Our friend Kyle told me to watch that.
Yeah.
And that's a really new one, and that's more of like an art house kind of horror film, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay, so I guess context. Kyle's also my roommate, our mutual friend. And we watched that recently, and I thought it was going to be like straight up like horror about a witch who kind
Yeah.
of like takes over this town and takes over bodies and whatnot. And I thought it was going to be more gore, but it was very like horror plus life. Like
Yeah.
just, it's very artsy in that way where it talks about like the different stages of life and how like life can be cherished
Ooh.
pretty much, but in a
Sounds a little
horror
existential.
aspect. It is.
Ooh, existential
really is.
horror.
Like,
I love. Yeah, I'm gonna go into it. I'll
yeah,
watch it.
it's really good because the main character can't talk. So you're kind of making these like interpretations about how she feels based off of her like facial
Ooh.
expressions, based off of her emotions and her actions.
Yeah, and the main character, it's Numi Rapace from
Yes.
like Lamb and also
Alien,
also the
Predator.
original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies.
How scary? How
Oh
scary?
yeah,
is
she
this?
was in.
Zero.
Oh, it's not scary at all.
It's not scary at all.
Oh, yeah, she was in a not Alien versus Predator. That was a Prometheus. She was in.
Oh yeah, Prometheus. Sorry.
Alien versus Predator is totally different from Prometheus.
It was another,
But they're both good.
outer space one.
They're both good.
Prey.
I-
Oh my God, there's so many good movies recently. Prey, also
Prey.
a really good one.
We
Yeah,
we
we
really
talked about
OC
it a
and
little
I.
bit.
You guys haven't seen it yet, have you?
Yeah, not
I
yet.
haven't. No.
You guys
Really
didn't
good.
watch it after we talked about it?
I mean, I had other things.
It was it's
been
probably
busy.
the best. Like
It's just it's a film. It
Yeah.
takes like an hour.
it's an hour and a half.
Yes, it's really good. It
Another
should.
good one. Man, I'm like getting all these movies that
Yeah.
okay. We'll
But for
talk
real,
about
Also
it.
Prey,
don't
Prey
have
should have
Hulu.
been in theaters. I think they missed.
I'll give you my Hulu.
A good.
Thank you.
They missed an opportunity not sending it to the
big screen?
But I guess
Yeah.
I don't know what power Hulu has. I think when they bought it, they were like, it's just gonna go on Hulu. But it's great. You guys should watch it. Check it out. Very fun, actiony, coming of age story.
I'm planning on it. I've been planning on it ever since that discussion.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's just if I had Hulu, it would be easier.
It's
You
a
know-
sweet. It's a sweet, entertaining ride.
What's funnier is like we were talking about, like me and my friends, we were talking about how it's almost like an origin story, but not really.
Prey.
Yeah.
It's a prequel. It's. Not,
But we were
yeah.
talking about like how they could really like make this into a whole series where what if they had it in Japan.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
Like in different parts of, and different timelines too.
yeah, people are really, they definitely ran away with like the first Predator movie. So I thought Predator was based on a comic, but I guess the comic came out after the first Predator movie. I hope I'm not wrong, but like, so yeah, people have been already kind of like going back and like, oh, like these are how old the Predators are, and like this is there's like a rich lore now behind Predator for no reason, but it's fun, it's cool. Like I love a creature feature, so I'm into it, and yeah, I think Prey is cool, and it breathed new life into like kind of like a dying franchise because all the movies were so bad. So it's cool. I'm excited to see where they go next. Like they went timepiece, pulled it off. Who knows? They could go with like in Japan kaiju Predator or something. Yeah.
Really good. Give it a watch. I'll give you my Hulu if you need Hulu.
Yeah,
I'll give you mine too.
I'll give you my. I'll take all our Hulus.
Thank you.
One thing you mentioned about like witches and controlling bodies, it reminded me of a movie I watched like a few months ago, an older movie. It was called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. That's kind of creepy. It was very similar to what you described. I don't want to spoil anything, but like
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah.
I might have watched that. Is that the one with the guy from Speed Racer?
I'm not sure.
What would you rate it?
What would I don't know. I'm not really a horror movie buff. I just got scared.
The Autopsy. I'll check it out if I haven't seen it already, but I feel like I might have seen it already.
Speaking of other good movies, like while we were talking, like so many movies just like came into my head.
I love movies. They're so good. They're my favorite medium.
Yeah. I think it's called Flesh. The one with Kristen Stewart and Viggo.
Crimes of the Future.
Oh, Crimes of the Future. Sorry. I was thinking Flesh because it's about like
it's a no.
Flesh.
That's like a thing that because it's directed by David Cronenberg, right?
Yes.
And he's all about like
body,
all hail
like,
to the new flesh body horror.
Yeah.
I didn't see it because that's one of my biggest things that I can't get over is like body horror. I still like it gets to me. Like a lot of gore, I'm now a little more like desensitized to, but David Cronenberg is a sick dude. So
I love gore.
You liked it?
I love gore. Well, the movie I didn't like so much, but performance-wise, Kristen Stewart really pulled off like the annoying, like weird chick in that movie. And
she's the best.
She was great.
I love Kristen Stewart. Everyone give her flowers because she's been in the game and she's been like, she's kills it in every role, I think.
Yeah, but speaking of gore, have you guys watched Smile on Netflix? Or not Smile.
That movie's not out yet.
Shoot, no.
Smile,
that movie's not out.
I'm looking forward to it. That one looks fun.
I forgot what it's called, but it's like I think it's like a Thai horror, and it's only gore, and it's almost like a zombie like movie.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it starts with an S actually.
It doesn't start with a P?
Or maybe P. I don't know.
It is like it's like
it's like a virus infects these people and they go like
they do their
haywire.
worst impulses.
They do their worst impulses, but they're like conscious in their mind.
I can tell you what it's called.
About it, but they can't do anything about the impulses. So they'll be crying, but they'll be like happy, like killing you, like that's their facial expression. And it's very gory. It's rated, I think it's rated R or something. There's some scenes that are very disturbing.
You're
called
like
the sadness.
The sadness. There you go.
Sadness.
What's the opposite of like selling me a movie? You're like making me not want to watch it because of that description.
Yeah, there's some very disturbing scenes that will probably make you question like, why did they put this in a movie?
This
it's like Hostel, like, you know?
Yeah. Some people want to see sick, twisted stuff because it's so different from what people would say is like the purpose of like media, like escapism. Like sometimes people just want to see like sick stuff, you know?
Or sometimes people get tired of just seeing stuff being too safe. So they're like, release finally something disturbing.
Yeah,
you know?
that's really what this movie is.
This kind of brings up. Has everyone here seen Nope yet?
Yes.
Have you seen Nope?
Oh yeah, he hasn't seen Nope.
Okay, so
he's like, nope.
Man, I feel like I gotta dip right now. Nope. You guys can talk.
No, Nope is not scary. You should check it out. Well, I mean, there's like one scary part.
It's not
scene
scary.
that's a little
there's
scary.
There's one scene that's a little scary, but I like love it.
But it's not like gory.
Now I kind of know.
I really like the overall message of Nope. There's a couple things. It's not just one thing. I don't want to generalize it, but like one big thing is like spectacle and like how we value spectacle and how sometimes we'll take advantage of things and people, things in nature even, and like we'll see things that should be like horrifying, but we create a spectacle out of it, and we capitalize off of it sometimes. And like it's not so much like a cautionary tale, it's just like an example of like a stylized world that Jordan Peele has made where they value spectacle. And like it can kind of, you can take that and parallel with like what we're seeing today in media. And I feel like this like stuff that's like weird fringe topics in like media kind of ties into that, like it's a spectacle, and some people just want to see stuff like that. Like it's like a train wreck, you can't look away,
Yeah, you explained that very well.
Exactly.
I have to say.
Yeah, watch Nope. Like, it made me like put things into perspective with like stuff like that.
There's I actually need to create a physical
Scott
list
has a list now.
A list of things.
I need to create one. I you guys are suggesting so many things. Probably not gonna watch the disturbing
sadness.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I know, because I'm still like trying to get over like my gore stuff too. I'm too imaginative, so when I see something that looks like realistic gore, I'm like, oh, I feel that.
Have you watched Hostel?
No.
Before? Okay.
I don't want to watch it.
I want to say that's like a classic for gore, like horror fans.
That's the top one. Like that's the gore. Like when I think of gore, I think of Hostel, which is I'm not gonna. Maybe someday.
But other than that, straying away from the topic of gore, another great one that I actually talked to Crystal about is 13 Lives. Have you guys heard about like what happened in Thailand with those kids who were trapped in a cave?
Yeah.
I heard about that.
A few, I want to say maybe like last year or
No, I think it was
2 years
2020,
ago?
maybe. Yeah.
2020. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So it's basically a retelling of that story, and Colin Farrell is in it.
And Viggo also.
Yeah,
Viggo
Viggo.
Mortensen. Dude, he's
Also
the
in it.
best.
And this movie, let me tell you, it's like a 3-hour movie, and I had anxiety the entire time.
Edge of your seat.
Yeah, I was like stress eating during the movie because like it's very intense, and if you're claustrophobic, like probably don't watch this movie because it is about like these people like diving down into those caves, stuck in like tight places, and trying to get 13 people out of that cave.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, these kids and their
That's
coach.
like real life horror.
Yeah, they survived in that cave with no like food, no light source.
Spoilers. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
This is in the news.
Okay, this was in the news.
I'm just kidding.
It's a retelling of it, but they survived in that cave for like 20 something days.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
they really got through it by like the power of meditation.
Dude,
Interesting.
Yeah,
the story
that's
here.
resilience. I love like disaster things in films.
It was great.
So I have to watch it. I'm glad you reminded me, because that was one where I was really intrigued, because it's like a real life thing, and like, and
Amazon Prime guys.
Yeah, I want to see how they I want to see how they did it. I think like hats off to those divers, because like that's no small feat, because those like natural caves like that are like so scary. Like I've seen so many like stories on YouTube of people that have like died crawling in like caves like that,
but it wasn't even like it was filled with water. It was a flash flood. There was a monsoon.
Yeah, and that's why that's why they're trapped in there, because that happened.
And if you guys remember, like Elon Musk tried to build like a robot to like help
I remember.
get these caves out. Didn't make it into
Remember
the movie,
his
guys. It
tweets where
wasn't.
he was like he was accusing all the divers of being like pedos.
But it was a great movie, and I think if you guys want to be on the edge of your seat and feel that experience,
I want to
give it a
clench
shot.
my butt.
All right, well, that was an intense amount of movie suggestions for you guys.
Yeah,
if you
that was a
haven't
lot
checked
of
it out.
ads.
Yeah.
I'm so
Sponsor
sorry.
us.
And I know we have to like stick with one movie that we've all watched and do a deep dive someday, because I know we kind of barely like glance over things, because it's like not every one of us have watched it, but
But I feel like, I don't know, I couldn't help talking about it because I feel like I was on a roll like these past
no, same.
few
That's what
weeks
I do
watching
too.
great movies.
I would love to like deep dive on like one thing with you guys soon. Like I don't know what it's gonna be, but
Yeah.
maybe Nope. Yeah.
I mean, we did a individual review for Nope, didn't we?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Dang.
And you love the movie?
Exactly.
No, I love the movie, but I think we record these at like 7 a.m. y'all. Like sometimes it's like we talk and it's like we don't remember what we say, because it's like You were so excited and
I
swept up in the
remember
moment.
everything because I edit. So,
But that wasn't part of the podcast. That was like our own video.
Yeah, it was our own. Me, you, and OC. We did a review on Nope.
Oh, okay. This new format is kind of just like because we talk about so much.
It blurs everything.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I do remember talking about it, but I don't know how deep we.
Yeah, no worries.
I could always go deeper because I've been like thinking about that movie. I've been thinking about that movie more and more, and it's a good one. And like
That's
I
interesting.
could talk more about it, honestly.
I kind of want to like pick your brain at it because I thought it was good, but not that great. You know?
Yeah, I think when you watch it, it's a little puzzling because it's a kind of a stylized movie. You can tell it's like, you know how like you watch a Tarantino movie, it's like his world, right? Things happen in those films that it's like, you know, that wouldn't really happen in real life. That's kind of interesting. It's like that. In Nope, the characters are just adjacent to like kind of what real life is like. Like everyone is it's a little strange, like the events, like the decisions people make. And it's his stylized world that he built for this movie. And yeah, there's just a lot of themes that they explore in it. Like I said, one of the big ones is like spectacle. And then another one is just like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like his thoughts on like entertainment and stuff. And it's cool to see that. But I don't think it like holds your hand the whole way through where it's like, oh, this is a lesson. Like, no, like it is really open for your interpretation which is why I liked it upon my first viewing. And that's why I can still talk about it, is because like I've been thinking about it. I've like seen stuff online and I'm like, wow, like that is a good point. And like everyone has a different take on it, which is what I like.
I definitely will check it out because I like Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Dude, those skits are so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you liked all of Jordan Peele's other movies, I think you would like this one too, because I am a Jordan Peele fan.
He hasn't seen all the other ones.
At least
None of his other ones.
At least
Oh my
watch
God.
Get Out.
Yeah, Get Out's the best.
At least watch Get Out.
He won an Oscar.
That's one
for
of
that.
my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's an Oscar for it.
For screenplay writing. It's not just one of my favorite horror films. It's like one of my favorite films of all time.
Oh, it's a horror.
Get Out.
Is it really?
It's not scary.
It's not that scary.
Okay, I would
is- the
say
thing
it's a thriller.
Okay.
It's more
I'll
of a
say
thriller.
this, Scott. You're the one not trying to generalize things. Jordan Peele is a genre-bending horror master because he's the reason why he's so popular now, I feel like, is because he's kind of not relying on old like horror.
Right.
He's not restricted
Tropes.
in a bomb.
See, that's
Using
what I
that
mean.
word a
That's what I
lot.
mean, though. I
Yeah.
go full circle. I think that's why categories and tropes or whatnot, like when you say it's a horror, I get an impression from it, you know, that it's scary, that stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you shouldn't, because you don't like tropes.
No, that's why I don't like it, because like you describe it like that, but it's not an accurate description.
It's a horror.
Does that make sense?
It's a horror. At the end of the day, like I would classify it as a horror. It's not like an adventure. It's not a thriller because there are like horror elements in it.
Right. I guess
but
I can
it's-
broaden my perspective on what a horror
because
movie is.
it's you know, because there are genres for movies, right? But it's like you said, no one and two things are the same. But I don't know, Jordan Peele, it seems he just has like a lot of inspirations from different things, and it really shows through in his like movie making, and it's great. Like he's really creative. So yeah, I recommend Get Out.
I recommend
love
Get
that
Out.
one.
It's-
I love that film. I watched it 3
You should
times.
just watch all his films because they're pretty good.
I watched Get Out 3 times in theaters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Us, I didn't like as much. We talked about this, but like I would leave that to you to like watch them both
Yeah.
and make your
I still liked it.
decision.
Me too.
Us was fine, but the rewatchability of Get Out for me is like definitely more than Us.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and end here with all these movie suggestions. I need to create a physical list.
Yeah, rewatch this when you're editing and write it down. Just kidding.
Maybe I will, but I hope you enjoyed our introduction of Christine, as well as just a lot of random conversations. And if you did, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Bye.